Hello, my name is Daniel Stillwell. I'm the editor of the IFTA e-newsletter. We are here in Aberdeen, Scotland at the Congress 2025, and we have with us Sylvia Cool. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you.
You've already gotten to present
Yes.
this conference, so we just wanted to let people know a little bit about what work you're doing,
All right.
what you presented on, and anything else that's interesting to you.
Yeah, I could have presented more actually, because 45 minutes is over before you know it.
Absolutely.
But I'm a master trainer of multidimensional family therapy, and I presented about that. And it's American, of course, but it's also in Europe. So I did a presentation about that. And what I think is important when you do a presentation is that you give some experience to the audience. So we started with difficult questions, because I think that therapists, they need to know themselves really good before they go to do therapy on anybody else. So
Especially working often with youth and
Yeah,
families.
of course.
Yes.
Of course, yeah. So yeah, it was nice to do, and it was a full house.
Good.
That's nice also, because you're always afraid that, 2 or 3 people are showing up and then you're there.
Right. Because we have an international audience, do 90 seconds on what MDFT is.
All right, MDFT is a comprehensive family therapy, and it has is outreaching components also. So we're not just per se like the old classic family therapy where you sit in the office and you have deep conversations. Of course we have deep conversations about stuff, but we're all also home-based, so we go to the families. And we also are in Holland we say you put your feet in the ground and you work. So if there are problems with practical stuff, we also help with that. So it's a combination of those two. And we work in 4 domains of a kid's life.
Right.
Like the kid itself, the parents, the family, and the extra-familiar domain, because, we are all living in a context.
Right.
And we do that in 3 stages, and the first stage is the alliance building and motivation of the family and the kid, and the second one is the change stage.
Right.
And the third one is the seal and exit. So what you want is when you have this therapy and it's it's 6 to 9 months, you want to really celebrate the successes and seal and exit them, because what you want is that it's gonna be sustainable for the rest of their lives. So that's basically short MDFT.
What makes it different in the Netherlands compared to how it was originally developed in the States?
I think the States and the Netherlands or Europe, because we are in more countries in Europe, I think we developed together a little bit.
Okay.
I think America, we have very much contact with each other. And America is really, really doing research, really good. We not only use MDFT for children with drug abuse or behavioral problems, but we also use it for internalizing problems, for anxiety, and it works.
Okay.
We need to do more research on that, but we see that it works with almost every kid.
Okay.
So yeah. So that's what we do. So it's just a little bit, but we always do it together. We talk together, we see each other together. We see each other 3-4 times a year online, and they come visit us, and we talk about the work and the stuff and what we do with it, what they do with it. So I don't think there's so much difference. Only, I think Americans are, I don't know, but I presume that most Americans are more used to having therapy. So we have a lot of Americans, and to open up and talk about their emotions and blah. And that's not so common in the countries where we do MDFT. So it's a whole new language for them to learn.
Okay.
And I like that.
If you were working with somebody from a country that didn't have MDFT as a established model, Are there small things that you think could be added to psychotherapy around the world?
Course.
Such as what?
Oh my God, such as like the cultural aspect of it, but that's in MDFT already. That's why I like it so much. But you can adjust a little bit, and you can. MDFT is not like pre-scripted. It's like not a cookbook. It's more a mindset and a framework in which you as a therapist operate. And if you understand a little bit about the framework, you can do so much. You don't put in all new like stuff, but you have your own things that you bring with you. It's not so, but we're not gonna throw in, oh, well, we do this and we do this and we do this, because then it's gonna be a little bit of an eclectic soup, and that's nothing, basically. But we really think about, well, maybe this kid could really benefit from something else, but we are then the ones that initiate it and we follow the kid. So it's yeah. So that's the answer basically, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
The other question I had about MDFT in your context is the interdisciplinary work. You know, when you are engaging other systems, do you coordinate care with other doctors, with social workers, with schools?
Yeah.
Okay.
We consider ourselves like the spiders in the web, because when you have multiple parties involved in a family, you know, nobody takes responsibility. Often, and within MDFT we do that. So we're the spider in the web. We look if it's necessary or not. Sometimes we come in families and they have 7 different caretakers, and one for this child, one for this child. Well, then we say no, quit, and then we're gonna look really into what the family really needs together with the family. So we take responsibility for that also. Yeah, because otherwise, I don't understand why it's so difficult to take responsibility for a family. It's my job. So. Yeah.
Well, why do you think people don't?
I think because they're afraid sometimes. I think that in Europe you have a system in which but in many countries in which the social workers or the juvenile workers are like the boss, and they refer to the therapies and they make the decisions, and I'm not going to work like that. So if you want to have MDFT, we have to collaborate, but we, as the therapist, we are going to talk to you about what's best for this kid. And if you do something completely different, then we say, no, we're not going to do that. So, and the social workers and the juvenile workers, they have to, when something's going wrong with the kid, they are the ones that are like, how do you call it? They are the ones that the government can blame.
They're held liable.
Yes. So there's a little bit of fear in that.
Sure.
And I don't think fear is per se the thing you need when you need to be bold when you do therapy.
Well, and I think the way that I've heard about it is the role of authority. That part of the training, part of the model is even saying, we have authority, we're not going to overstep our bounds, but we're going to be the spider of the web. We're going to recognize our role in this system.
And if I'm a firm believer of this is not the way we go, I'm going to go climbing into the highest tree to demonstrate and to tell to everybody, no. I'm going to go to everybody to say no. So that's why I like it so much.
Okay.
Because you take responsibility, and not like you take it together with the family. So that's the other part I like very much.
Yes, they are still the client, the patient, right?
Yes, and they know best. So that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. That's probably something that a lot of people haven't spent that much time on or heard about, and it's great to recognize that models can work in lots of places. You just need support.
But that's because it is when they designed MDFT, it was bottom up and not top down.
Yeah.
So it's with the people, and that's why every time I think I'm doing it now for like, I know it's 2004 and it's now 2025, like really long. And every time I think, well, everybody's inventing new therapies and things, but it's all in MDFT, so I don't need anything else. I just need that framework to think about families and then go to work. And you need to keep up with science, and you need to read, and of course. But it's so brilliantly designed. So I'm really glad that it's in my life and in my DNA. I only can think MDFT. So we always say we are a family as MDFT. Yeah. It's a little bit like, we're not like a cult or something, but yeah.
But you speak the same language.
Yes,
that helps.
That's brilliant. When you are in Finland, we speak the same, so you know each other. So, well.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
The last question is, you're here in Scotland. Are you traveling? Do you get to do anything fun while you're
I
here?
don't think so.
No, not this trip.
I booked into a wonderful hotel, a little bit like, you know, Downton Abbey? No, a little bit like Downton Abbey, but then cheap.
Okay, sure. That sounds wonderful.
So I walked the gardens and I saw the sheep. Maybe I'm going to the town this afternoon.
Okay.
And then I go home.
Then you go home.
Yeah.
All right.
But I will be back, I guess, because my husband wants to walk in the Highlands. And I have to train for that.
Well, it's a lovely walk if you can.
Yeah, you did it?
I did, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's quite gorgeous land and space and the feel of it all.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Sylvia Cool.
Doctor.
Doctor? No?
Oh, I'm not a doctor.
Not doctor.
I'm just a normal human being.
Well, a normal human being.
I'm a family therapist.
I was going to say, with more experience doing this than
but
many
I learned
doctors.
bottom up. I learned bottom up.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll give you an honorary somehow. That'd be fun. All right, Sylvia Cool. You can find her online and learn more about MDFT on your own. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, okay. Cut.